Okay, we are live at exactly 10 o'clock. Very, very on time. I am always on time. That should be the one thing you take away from this stream, no matter what happens. Brew is always on time. I'm just going to quickly do a check to make sure everything works. And once I make sure everything works, we can begin. I'm not sure who's with us right now. Let me just make sure that a couple of other things are working. Just give me one small second. And yes, everything should be working. I have no problem on my side. If anyone is there in chat, please let me know if there are any issues. My audio seems to be fine and my video seems to be fine as well. So please let me know if there are any issues whatsoever. But welcome to Brew Writes. Right now, it's just me reading out stories that I wrote on writing prompts. And if you're wondering why it's titled still banned on Reddit for writing prompts, it's because I wrote a dark story on r/writing prompts and got promptly banned, permanently banned. And I've tried appealing it, but they haven't replied. So that's why the still banned on Reddit. I'm still appealing it. Maybe I will get unbanned. But again, at the end of the day, it's just like a way for me to share my stories with people, and I can still stream, so I'm still able to share my stories with people. So even if I don't get unbanned, it's fine. It's like whatever. I'll just keep saying that to myself until I'm okay with it. But anyway, welcome and thank you for joining in. Thank you very much. This is basically me reading out my stories that I've written, and soon, once I get a little more comfortable doing this, I will be adding in, I will be making videos with like little effects, video effects, audio effects, and all that good stuff, that it will be more entertaining for you to watch. And I can edit out all the bad parts and all the little mess ups that I do along the way. But I hope you enjoy. I would love any criticism, any feedback that you have, anything at all. You can let me know, and I will try to include it. If you want to join me for any other streams, I usually stream at the same time every Friday and every Tuesday. So you can join me on YouTube and Twitch as well, if you prefer that for live streaming. But anyway, the first writing prompt is: everything balances itself in this fantasy world. The hero, an average teenager on Earth, was summoned by mages to defeat the villain face against the enemy, until the hero realizes that just like him, his friend was also dragged into this magical mess as the villain. Smoke, fumes, a whirlwind that cleared it all away. I stood tall and strong. Wait, where am I standing again? A lot of weird dudes wearing masks were in front of me, bowing and praying in a language I didn't understand. Psst. The ritual was successful, came a voice from the machine. Psst. Please help us, my lord, it continued. What? Bro, I'm a random teenager who was playing God of War 3 and I suddenly appear in a random room with dudes praying to me? I am not the Messiah, I proclaimed. Psst. He is the Messiah, came the reply. Damn it. Well, I'll help and be on my way then. What do you require of your lord, dear ones? I ask in my most godlike voice possible. Psst. The ancient evil Petrolis has arisen after centuries. Only the great lord can defeat him, came up the reply. Petrolis? I know that name. Could it be? I shall defeat Petrolis and return successful. Send me back where I came from post-haste. I have more people to help, I claimed. Psst. All hail the Lord. We will send you back for sure. Great. Time to go find Petrolis. I had a lot of powers in this world that I didn't have back at home. Fast travel was one of them. I fast traveled to the evil palace of the villain I had to defeat. Let me be frank. I was not going to kill the villain, not even beat him. A mass of legionnaires came in and decided to surround me and kill me. Listen, mere mortal demons, bring me to your lord and you shall see why killing me means the death of you all. Lord Petrolis will never allow me to be killed. They were confused, but understood enough to take me to the throne room. The second Petrolis saw me, he boomed, "Everyone, out of the room now. I have matters to settle with this hero." Everyone ran away scared, and I faced the evil villain and stared him in the face and said, "Is this the level of villains we find nowadays? The bar has really dropped low, huh?" Petrolis fumed. "Not as much as the bar for heroes. You? Really? I haven't seen anyone die with Kratos as much as you. If anyone else from the gamer group found out about this, they'd just pee themselves laughing." I smiled and went in to hug Bartolos. That was a name he chose years ago when we made our first accounts on Garena, and it has been his online name since. So, how do we get out of here? Pretend we had a great battle and claim the other side died? Then we just convince each person's side to help us get back? Works for me, came his reply. We both pretend fought and made terrible sounds of war. In reality, we were kicking back with some sweet mead and making noises between sips. I fast traveled back and brought the villain's helmet with me. The villain is no more. I demand to be sent back whence I came, lest my hometown burn to the ground by the Drugers, I claimed. Psst. My lord, we thank you. We shall send you back immediately, replied the translator. I stood tall and strong until the wind settled down and I was back in my room. Damn it, Kratos died again. So, this is, the story is pretty straightforward, I feel. It's just like you and your friend get taken to this other world. It's like an isekai in anime, and you're taken to this other world, and you have to figure out what to do and live your life over there. And I was like, if a random teenager from Earth actually got taken to another world, I think they would want to get back more than anything else. I don't think they'd want to stay there and be a hero and be responsible for the lives of millions of people. They'd want to get back. And especially when God of War 3 is not over, you do not just leave it and go away. You have to finish it. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows you have to finish God of War as soon as possible. So that's the inspiration for this story. And also, I just added a couple of memes. I'm not the Messiah. He's the Messiah. And of course, I didn't really know what to do with the language. I actually thought of putting in like this random garbled language that I made up on my own. And I was like, nobody's going to care about that. So I just made it like a translator that translates everything. And of course, if you're meeting your friend in a death battle, you're not actually going to death battle them. It's just easier to trick everybody. And since his friend was also summoned randomly, or your friend was summoned randomly, you could just go back home safe and convince these guys that they're all safe as well. Which they are. Like, the evil is no more and the hero is no more. So both sides think they want. Peace is among the fantasy land that this is in. Tigalord 9877 says, have you ever worshipped at a Lord Kali temple, Mahakali? No, I have not. My entire family is actually a family of Shiva worshippers. I'm named after the Bradishwar temple in Thiruvananthapuram, if you know it. But I've never gone to a Kali temple. But get a lot of Indians here. That's good. Anyway, if you guys have anything to say about this story, you can let me know in the comments. I'm just going to take a sip of water and then I will move on to the next story and go on like that. Every time I have trouble opening this bottle. But do I change the bottle? No. Real men do not change their metal water bottles. Also, I don't have money for new metal water bottles. So, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya to you too. So, my name actually means Shiva. So, my name is actually Shiva. So, it's just this weird God thing with Indians. I don't know. Anyway, the next prompt is humanity thought they knew enough to study black holes in space. One day, a researcher discovers they knew nothing because instead of being matter-consuming voids, it turns out that black holes are just the way that advanced civilizations cloak themselves from the rest of the universe. Kate grabbed her coffee and played music on her phone, grabbed her earphones and started work. She worked with a giant space telescope and her job was to identify and research any interstellar objects of interest that might threaten or help humanity in any way. Her college was funded by some of the biggest billionaires in the world to ensure that they get the information before anyone else. So far, the Mars landing by Elon Musk was primarily started by Kate's work, as she identified the single trace of water on the red planet. So, random objects appearing in a viewfinder was nothing weird, except today. Today was weird. You see, Kate had been looking into a nearby black hole that she found. There was a chance that it would become big enough to swallow up smaller objects and eventually threaten the Earth. What was weird, you ask? The black hole was not there. No, the black hole was simply missing. In its place was a thriving planet of lights. Looking deeper into the society that lived there, they seemed to have structures that were visible from space. The Great Wall of China wasn't the only thing that could be seen from space after all. Kate ran to get her superiors and show them the discovery, and she did. They were overjoyed at what they heard, and they absolutely loved the idea of aliens existing. They could see the newspapers already. Amazing scientists confirm alien life, hailed as heroes. Alas, when they looked through the telescope, they just saw the black hole. The boring, old black hole that might threaten humanity and destroy it. The magical planet of life was missing. It had only been a couple of hours, and Kate was flabbergasted. She saw it with her own eyes. Her superiors walk away, shaking their heads in disappointment at the lie that was told to them, and threaten disciplinary action against Kate. Dejected, she stares into the black hole and looks all around it. Wait, there was something there. A little fold in the black hole, like a cloth not hanging properly. The light from the planet could be seen right behind it. As Kate got excited and tried to take a photo, the cloth slowly unfolded and covered the planet entirely. She couldn't believe her eyes. Black holes weren't real. Aliens were real. And they used black holes as green screens for the rest of the universe. Who on earth would believe her now? So, a couple of comments. I'm not Indian, just appreciate your culture. Oh, I see. Yeah, there are a lot of people who really like India. So I'm glad you appreciate the culture. We love sharing culture with people. Sometimes the extremists get a little too violent, but most of us just love sharing our culture. Did you really get banned on Reddit? Yeah. So I wrote a story about abuse, and it was immediately considered too violent / sexual. I guess it wasn't really explicit or graphic, but the mods clearly didn't like it, and I didn't agree with the ban at the start because I was like, you can't write a story about abuse if you don't talk about abuse, And I got banned, and I tried to appeal it, but they did not respond at all. So I'm still, fingers crossed, holding on, waiting for that. And you're a good storyteller, reader. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you. May I know how to pronounce your name? Is it Tigalot or Tigal? I don't even know. Is it Tigalot? I'm just curious because I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But would love any feedback on this story as well, and I will take another sip of water and then go on to the next one. Okay. Next one. Also, just would like to say that I am. Oh, it is Tigalot. Okay, that's great. I was afraid I was saying it wrong, so I'm glad I said it right. So also, while I am banned from posting on writing prompts, I'm not banned from viewing the subreddit itself. So I am basically taking writing prompts from there and putting it on here. I don't know if that's against the rules, but they haven't replied to me at all. So I'm just going to assume it's. I hope they unban. How can you write a story about abuse that speaking about? Yeah, so I had I put in a lot of implied details, and I was scared of putting out the story before I put it out. So I sent it to a few friends, and they were like, "Okay, it's dark, but it's well written." So I was like, "Okay, if it's dark but well written, I'm assuming it's not going to be something that would go too bad." And then it went really bad. So I could put the story out for anyone who's curious, but then I will get banned again. So on maybe on this subreddit, so I'm going to avoid doing that. But if anyone wants, you guys can just check out my YouTube. It'll be on that shortly. As soon as I move my ass and actually start working on uploading all the stories. Anyway, the next story, the writing prompt is: you are sitting outside your house, enjoying the dying embers of the campfire, when two glowing eyes open to stare at you. Greetings, it rasped. May I share your fire tonight? May you share my fire? Fire is not mine. It is for all of us to share. Make yourself at home, I replied calmly. Thanks, my human. The winter is cold and my core grows weak. This will serve me greatly, it said. How amusing that even though we are completely different beings, we both yearn for the warmth in our cores. Life is so odd, wouldn't you agree? I asked as I stoked the flames to make them brighter. Amusing indeed, human. You seem clouded by thought. What ails you? Anything that a mild ember spirit can help with as thanks? The creature rasped back. I merely contemplate about life, dear spirit. Tragedy has befallen my life, and there is not much I can do. I have lost everything but this home and this fire that revives your spirits, I sighed. You sound old in your mind, human. Let out your thoughts and let your heart lie a bit easy, it replied. It is human made problems with human made reaction, spirit. My girlfriend left me yesterday and took everything I had. After decades of being together, she decided to move in with another man. The material things I can buy again. She took my good buddy, my dog, Calvin. I have no way of getting him back, and that saddens me to no end, I ranted. I sympathize, human, but this does seem like a problem that a humble spirit such as myself can help with. Might I request a larger fire to feed my power just a bit? It asked hopefully. At this point, spirit, burn the world and let it end now. It matters not to me, I said as I added wood and fuel to the fire and lay down. The last thing I heard before I slept was the spirit laughing silently, but in an eerie, almost evil way. I woke up with the fire gone and no spirit in sight. Must have been a weird dream, I think. I suddenly see my ex-girlfriend's mother coming, rushing towards me with a golden retriever. My Calvin! She hands him over to me and shouts, "She's dead! Did you do this?" I have no idea what you're talking about. I've been passed out in the yard since last night. What happened? I questioned calmly. My daughter is dead. Her entire house burned down with her and her boyfriend in it. They're both dead, she wailed. I'm so sorry. So sorry. She didn't deserve to go that way. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help, I said, a few tears welling up. She looked at me in suspicion and ended up walking away without a word. I hugged my dog and cried in happiness. As I got up to take him into the house, I saw Spark jump across the yard. I guess even humble ember spirits can be great friends. So, again, here, the embers of fire. It's not really in Indian culture to sit in front of fires unless we have a religious ceremony where the fire is of some importance. I'm not particularly religious, so I literally never look at fires. We don't have fireplaces, and the only time I've actually sat and looked at a fire was when I went to this really, really cold place called Nainital in North India. And my friends and I had to huddle around a fire because we were out at like 6 in the evening, and it started getting freezing. And at that time, I can't really say what exactly I was thinking. I don't remember what I was thinking, but I remember being very emotional looking at the fire. I felt like I was witnessing something that I had never witnessed before, and the fire was just captivating in that way. So I was thinking of this human who didn't know what to do in life, who lost everything and just sat in front of a fire, captivated by the embers, not knowing what to do. And this little ember spirit comes out and talks to him. And all the ember spirit really wants is a way to keep living, because in the cold, the ember wants to make sure it's alive. And well, the human opens up to the spirit. And at this point, if a human has lost everything, like this is something that I've thought of multiple times. Like if I'm really sad and an alien just pops up in front of me and says something, I'm going to be like, "Yo, what's up?" I'm not going to be like, "Whoa, you're an alien and you're real. What?" I'm just going to be like, "Yo, yeah, you're an alien. Cool. What's up?" So I just want to put that thought in. And something that really, a fear, I would say, an innate fear of mine is being left all alone with everything being taken away. And that includes my dogs. I have 3 dogs and I have 5 cats, and my dog is like staring at me right now. I don't know what he wants, but he's really staring at me. But this dog, Calvin, I had 2 dogs first, Calvin and Hobbs. And I don't know if you can see it, but I have their paw prints on the back. My dog Calvin died of cancer when he was 9, which was really, really saddening. So I try to include him in as many stories as I can. So even when I played D&D for the first time, I got a dog named Calvin. So it's just my little way of keeping his memory alive in any way that I can, whether it's through small stories or whether it's through a game that I'm playing. So I just like using the name Calvin. And of course, it's based on Calvin and Hobbes, the comic by Bill Watterson. I'm pretty sure everybody knows it. And yeah, it's just that the Ember Spirit is like, well, this is easy. All I have to do is burn down the house. If they die, you probably get the dog back. I'll make sure the dog is safe. Problem solved. And I was like, this is something that an eternal spirit of sorts would think is a very good solution, but humans themselves might not. So it was just a fun little way of taking it about that. I hope this is not too dark. It's not dark, is it? I'm not going to get banned for this, am I? Will I get banned? No, I won't get banned. Wow, Ember Spirit. Also, yeah, take a lot. Yep, Ember Spirit is actually a character from a game called Dota 2, which I also reference a lot in my stories. So that's also there. Like he's supposed to be this old poet who only speaks in 4 words, and the Ember Spirit takes over his body, and he becomes this really cool character. But yeah, I'll sip of water and then we can move on to the next story. Sorry to hear about the dog. Oh, thank you. He lives on in your stories. Yeah, that's really what I want. So my sister and I, we have completely different approaches to this. She created a hashtag called Calvinosaur on Instagram, and it's literally just posts like that's the only hashtag, and he's the only dog that has a relation to the hashtag. So if you actually look at the hashtag Calvinosaur, it's only him. So he's there, uh, fully immortalized on Instagram. But I'm not much of a social media user except for Reddit, I guess. And I write, so I was like, I can keep him in my memories. It's like my own way of making sure that I leave something behind related to Calvin, and I will with. Oh, he's 13 now, so he's getting pretty old. His tricky ways of the spirits. I like your story a lot. It's up. Thank you. I very appreciate you being here. And yeah, we can move on to the next story, which is the writing prompt is. By the way, I just changed this to one so that it's easier for me to write. There are two magical type wizards. Wizards who need wands and chants to access magic, and there are warlocks who can access magic with just wands. And there's you. You can do magic with but a thought, and the Magic Council has learned of you. Wizards, warlocks, and mages. They are powerful indeed. It was always a safe bet for alliances, friendships, and marriages with them. Simply chanting, casting, and waving around their wands would result in literal magic happening. And in a town as rudimentary as mine, it was a vital skill to have. Here's the part they don't tell you. You need to have a rich family to actually become one. Wands are expensive. Magic school can bankrupt a man with even a decent income. Not to mention the pure blood aspect of it, where you're not allowed into magic school unless you're from a noble family. Me, I'm none of those. I was born to a poor family. My father helped a rich farmer who'd pay him pennies for all the hard work he put in. My mother was a teacher, but she taught children about the world around them and where to collect or hunt food, find water, wood, and other important stuff like that. She too received pennies despite the value she brought to the town's resources. Her hunter father made sure all these lessons were passed down to her. Me, I learned stuff at home as I couldn't afford school, let alone magic school. I was always amazed by magic though. I made friends with this wizard kid who was failing and was bullied by all the other kids in his class. He showed off his relatively low amount of knowledge to me and magicked his way into a lot of trouble. He showed me spells and how to wave the wand and so on. I learned them all and kept them in my mind. I'd wave my hands around like a wizard and think of the spell. I couldn't let anyone find out. It wasn't worth the trouble, so my playtime would be me playing wizard until one day it wasn't playing anymore. It was real. I managed to take a cut tree and turn it into logs. To further test the power, I thought of how to arrange it and it automatically stacked itself neatly. I couldn't keep this hidden. Or when I wanted to, but I was too excited. I managed to get money for my parents and food that we had never tasted before. They were angry with where it came from, but agreed to keep it a secret to ensure I wouldn't be killed by angry wizards. And so I kept silently stealing while learning and practicing my magic more and more and more. I could do anything. I not only managed to manipulate things around me, but I could manipulate my own body to do things. I could fly. I could make myself very light to run really fast or really heavy to hold my ground. I practiced this much only for one reason, to reveal myself as the true wizard of this town. I started pulling off more crazy stunts that got attention, and despite my parents' constant threats and pleas, I did worse and worse things until the Wizard Council summoned me for a hearing and a trial. I went willingly. All the top wizards were there, including the founder of this particular school. I knew that all I had to do was take him out and establish dominance over the others. Old, wise, and powerful, but not enough to withstand me. Wizarding school is going to open up for everyone now. So there are a lot of different inspirations for this story as well. Main one being Harry Potter. I would guess Harry Potter was something. It was like my first extensive book series that I ever read, and my sister introduced me to Harry Potter, and she had read the first book, and I managed to finish three before she finished the first one. She eventually just read the second book and gave up, and I went on to read literally all of them. For me, Harry Potter was like the most imaginative and creative story that I could have read as a kid. So I do have a lot of inspiration from Harry Potter. And aside from that, I was just thinking of what you could do in a place where magic is not something very common. It's something that only a lot of high profile people have. And this is something that used to happen in Indian society as well, with the Brahmin caste being the only ones who could talk to the gods. And then everyone later realized this bullshit. Everyone could talk to the gods if they wanted to. There's no specific power that the Brahmins had, but they would not let you learn certain chants. They don't let you learn certain prayers and so on and so forth. So I wanted to put that aspect into it. And also the pure blood word comes from Harry Potter. So it's a mixture of both. And I just wanted to let out this idea. So this is something I truly believe in, which is that every human being in the planet has the ability to be the greatest version of themselves, and they can achieve great things. And something like, popularity, fame, fortune, all these things are not just for like a certain sect of people. Anyone can achieve them as long as they do their best, as long as they, give it their all and do it smartly. Like don't just rush headlong into stuff. You can actually do it. And I want to convey that through the story where this poor kid who didn't even have a proper education sits with this reject wizard, so to speak, a guy who was bullied by others. And he just learns the magic spells because it's fun for him. He's just interested in it. And because he does that, because he learns all of this and he keeps repeating it in his mind and he keeps acting it out, he just automatically unlocks the ability to do it, because that magic is not limited to other people. There is magic in all of us, and anyone can practice that magic and make it better and do better in general. So that is, I feel like this has come out decently in the story. I like the story, at least. I don't know if you guys do. So you can let me know in the comments if you want to, and I will take another sip of water and get to the last story for the story. Okay. And is if the stream is lagging, please let me know, because I don't think there is any problem. I mean, I'm not able to see any problem on my side, but if there is any lag, please let me know, because I just got a net speed error. Sorry, but I hope everything is fine. Anyway, the last story is for years, scientists told us that we don't know the true purpose of dreams. Now you learn they lied, but it was to protect mankind. Karan's dreams were always vivid. They made him fear things, love things, and even hate things. He would dream of diseases clutching humanity in its crowns. His girlfriend and him getting married, and even let him know that he hated the taste of truffle mushrooms without even trying them. Those were only dreams, though. True, when he eventually tried truffle mushrooms, he hated them, but that means nothing. His body was probably thinking of how he hated them in the dream while he was eating it. He got engaged to his girlfriend and started planning the wedding, but also joined the Terraria Institution of Science as a junior researcher at the same time. He also started getting into lucid dreaming to see if he could control his dreams. While Karan's work involved studying jellyfish to see how they were immortal, his home studies were all about dreams. Why do we dream? What causes dreams? Why do we not remember a few dreams? How is lucid dreaming even possible? He was temporarily satisfied with all his answers, and lucid dreaming was going well. He had dreams of being on a beach with a dolphin jumping out of the water, and he willed himself to go into the water to take a closer look at it. He had dreams of slurping these delicious noodles at a ramen bar and drinking every last drop of soup. The problem started when Karan got married. He took a look at a photo his friend took, and it was a dead ringer for his dream. A little unsettled, he let it go and focused on the rest of the wedding. By night, dreams weren't what was on his mind. His honeymoon went great until he saw a dolphin jump out of the water, and he automatically got up and jumped into the water with no control over his limbs. He survived and decided to call it a night. The next day, he went to a ramen bar and finished every last drop of the soup. A picture his new wife took of him was exactly a moment from his dream. This was scary. Karan decided to do more research but had no satisfaction with the answers this time. His dreams became nightmares. His dog gets cancer, mirrored in real life, a tragic and early death. His wife miscarries and they lose their child, mirrored in real life, more tragedy. He feels a weight of 1,000 kilos on his stomach, mirrored in real life as his car gets hit and he's stuck under it. Karan was frantic. His next dream was him holding the body of his dead wife. She was cold to the touch, lifeless and bleeding. He woke up screaming and made sure his wife was okay. He rushed to the research institute the next day and went straight to the dreams expert and explained everything. He just wanted to know why his dreams were coming true in the worst way possible and what he could do to stop his wife from dying. The scientist was hesitant but told him the truth. Dreams are visions into the future, but they don't come true unless they are remembered well or intentionally messed with, like with lucid dreaming. When humans become more aware of their dreams and start controlling them, they start coming true. The more panicked the human, the worse the dream, and the worse the real life scenario. Karan ran home and used his lucid dreaming skills to dream about his wife. But instead of being dead, he stopped the knife from stabbing her. He held it in his hand and she was alive and well. While all seemed good, he heard a scream that woke him up. It was his wife yelling, "Karan, no!" He jumped back awake and looked down. He was holding his wife. She was cold, lifeless, and bleeding. May all your dreams come true too. Little dark. I hope no band plays. That's all I ask. But basically, this is another idea that just popped into my head, which was, what could be the reason we dream? What if humans were prophetic by nature and they could actually predict the future and dream about the future? It would be absolutely insane. And I have some really weird dreams. In fact, when I was young, I had this reoccurring dream that some terrorists had taken over my house and they were shooting at everything, and there was like huge fire going on in the background, and then I managed to take a gun and shoot one of the terrorists, and then I removed the mask and it turned out to be my mom. I'm like, "What, mom, why are you shooting us?" And I had this dream like very regularly. I was like, damn, this is like really messed up, and it didn't come true, thankfully. But I was just thinking about, what if it was prophetic? Manimas says you can almost hear the bands coming. Hello, Manimas. Thank you for joining. But yeah, you can hear the bands coming for sure. And I was just wondering, what if it did come true? And what if lucid dreaming was just a way for you to explore the future before the events actually took place? And that would be a very interesting way of looking at it. So you could like, lucid dreaming is something I have never gotten into, but my brother has, and he said that he can actually predict his dreams and change things around. And I never understood how it worked because I'm powerless in my dreams. But the Maimon says, concerning dreams. I've heard of your dreams, Maimon. But okay, please don't talk to me about concerning dreams. Your dreams are like basically nightmares all the time. But yeah, so basically, imagine dreaming about your wedding because you know it's going to happen, and then actually seeing it happen, and then dreaming about your honeymoon and actually seeing it happen. You're like, this is great. I can actually see the future. And then you see something that is really scary, and you start seeing bad things, and it just makes it feel worse and worse and worse. And you start feeling scared to sleep, and you start thinking of how you can change what is happening. So this goes into the story, the cliche of, okay, I know my future. How do I change it? And then the way you end up trying to change it is how it actually ends up. So it's just, I went that way for this one. And may all your dreams come true. Just a way to freak you guys out if you actually like the story. But yeah. Hey, no, unique stories is all. Yeah, if Marimos, he's on YouTube, for anyone who's wondering, if he wrote stories about his dreams, we could publish a whole book about nightmares. Unique Nightmares by Marimos. That would be an amazing title. But yeah, even here, dog with cancer, just trying to put in my own dog as a little reference over there to just keep him alive in my head. And a lot of the other things is like not stuff that I have witnessed. I'm not married. My wife, my wife who doesn't exist, did not miscarry, and I've never been in a car accident. Although I have been attacked by a cow while my mother was like holding me in her arms. I have very vivid memories of that. But yeah, it's just a fun little thing about dreams. I think this could have gone a lot of different ways. Maybe something with like how when you dream, your aliens come out to probe you and look at your brain's signals, or maybe even like your brain is not even your brain and it's actually just a parasite that's sitting in there that needs you to sleep so that it can do something. I don't know, they can go a million ways, but I was just thinking of a prophetic human being who sees his own sorry fate before it happens. But yeah, that's it. That's all the stories for this stream right here. Went on for 35 minutes. Hopefully can go on for longer next time. I would just like to say thank you for everyone who's watching. Tiggalard 9877. Thank you for joining in and commenting. It means a lot to me, really. It does. And thank you, Marimos, for coming in. Although your comments scare me a little bit, but yeah. And just to explain a bit about this stream, it's just something I did because I suffer from depression and I want to get off my ass and actually start doing something. It's not something that's going to help me financially, but it's something that I can at least spend time on. I can do some writing. I can spread some ideas. I can keep my mind working, and I won't be stuck in a rut, just staring at the wall. And it just helps me get some schedule. It helps me get some order in my life. So it's very helpful when you guys actually do talk to me, and it gives me a bit more motivation to go on. And I really like it. I really appreciate all of you who take the time out to message or take the time out to upvote or downvote or like or anything. Just thank you for joining. I hope you'll join us next time as well. I'll be back with 5 more stories on Tuesday. And that's it. I hope you have a great time ahead. Great day ahead as well. Goodbye.